are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Thank you. Before we go into the new album, Visions of a Life, first your quick thoughts on the previous album, My Love is Cool. How do you look back on it?
Yeah. I don't know, it's crazy. We kind of toured it for almost longer than 2 years. I mean, 2 years since it came out, but we were touring those songs way before that, so it's done its time, I think.
Yeah. And the success that you had with the album, was it, in hindsight, how do you look back on the success it gave you?
Yeah. It's hard to know when you're in the midst of it, you know. When I read, for example, you know, introductions from the media and press and stuff, and they list, you know, accolades that we got nominated for and stuff, it's quite hard to take in.
Why?
Because I guess those kind of things, you forget what you thought about them before they happened to you, if you know what I mean. It's quite hard to like process. Different things become important to you, and when you're, you know, actually in that position that you've dreamed of being in for so long. And
do you have an example of different things that
yeah, so like I don't know, it's more rewarding to perhaps like speak to a fan and them to tell you how much your music means to them than to be nominated for an award or something. And I don't think I really process a lot of the success that we've had. I don't think it's quite sunk in.
And when did you start working on this new album? Is there one specific starting point?
No, I don't think we didn't like set a time like, okay, let's start working on new tunes now. We had wrote bits and bobs whilst we were touring, and then when we finished touring we had about 6 months to kind of piece everything together and refine, and we were still writing tunes during that time as well. And but we kind of knew when we wanted to get into the studio, so I don't know, I guess over the last 2 years we've been writing it, just not in one set time.
Are there certain key tracks on the album that when you wrote that track that you thought, well, this is what I want the album to be like?
No, not really. I think when we first started thinking about the idea of writing new tunes for a new album, we kind of wanted it to be, we really enjoy playing our more heavier, faster, more energetic songs, so I think we had that in mind when we first started writing. Well, I did anyway, but then eventually I kind of dropped off all preconceived ideas of what I wanted to make and just wrote whatever came naturally to me, because I think that's how I at least get the best songs.
How come at first you wanted the songs to be more hard and more?
Because I like playing that kind of stuff live, I think. Mm.
And is what the album is called, Visions of a Life. It's the last song on the album. Why did you pick this song as being the album title?
Well, initially it was just a lyric in that song, and we had a stupid name for the song that we couldn't use because it was silly and rude, quite frankly. But so I kind of wanted the album to be called Visions of Life without having that as a name of a track on the album, but I couldn't think of anything to call the track. But I just think both that song and the album as a whole are kind of snapshots of life and my life, and snapshots of what I think of my life and stuff. So it's kind of the same in that song, just compressed into 8 minutes rather than 50 minutes or whatever it is. So yeah, it's this, yeah.
Well, there's a line in that song, you say, people's ideals give me the chills to the bone. Did you write this line with something specifically in mind?
Not really, just it's more broad than that, I suppose. Things that you don't agree with and things that you can't comprehend as being important, stuff like that.
Is there one example maybe that you...
No. No, I wouldn't have one example. I think I might change my mind and then I'd regret saying it.
There are 2 songs I was thinking maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it about your grandmother or?
Oh yeah, in Saint Purple and Green, yeah.
Yeah. What I thought was interesting, maybe also a bit about you. You're still my nana. You sing in Saint Purple and Green. Sing me a Russian lullaby.
Yeah.
Is she from Russia?
No, actually she's not, but she claimed that she could once speak Russian. I don't think she could, but that was just this one song that she always used to sing, and I remember her singing it to us, my brother and I, when we were trying to go to sleep, and it was really not the kind of song you'd want to fall asleep to. It was quite haunting, and I think she was trying to be nice, but it was actually just really scary. And I heard it the other day actually when Theo and I were watching Eastern Promises, that movie, and they start singing it in the restaurant. I don't know the name, and I could sing it to you, but I don't think I should. Probably wouldn't do it justice.
That's okay. How important is she for you? Because there are 2 songs about it.
Oh, only one.
But I also thought Heaven Ward.
Oh no, that's about someone else.
Then yeah. Is she important for you, or is it just some sort of memory you had and you wrote a song about?
Yeah, she was important to me. I grew up with her, and she was a very interesting person. And I think when that St. Purple Green is kind of about. I wrote that before she actually passed away, but it was more about her losing her mind and getting dementia, and the impact that has on other people in your family, and that's kind of what that song is about. But also, remembering, funny things about her, and she was quite a charismatic
and how long
woman.
Did she have that illness?
A long time. I can't remember how long, but it felt quite long.
Is it something that you're also scared about, maybe? When you witness someone so close to you and then that goes through something like this, it's something you say, well, losing your own identity.
Yeah, I mean, that's terrifying, isn't it? I think probably one of the most terrifying things ever, yeah.
If you start a song, where you said you started out with playing more the hard songs, and in hindsight, you said you just let it go and you just wrote whatever you wanted. If you compare this album to your previous album, what are for you musically the biggest differences?
Musically, what are the bigger differences? I think we pushed ourselves quite a bit more than we had done in the first album. I mean, partly because we're just better musicians now, and I guess you don't want to write the same songs again, so you have to put a little bit of effort into not doing that. You have to discover more options than
And how do you do that to discover more options?
I guess I feel like maybe with the first album we kind of you don't, I guess you write the songs and then leave them as they are, whereas this time around I felt like you'd write the song and come back to it and improve it. I guess we didn't do that so much in the first album, which is, not necessarily a bad thing. I think sometimes you don't want to come back to a song and scrutinise it and try and make it perfect, because you probably lose quite a lot of initial charm and force something that has come naturally to you. Yeah. So we didn't do that. I don't think we will. I think that's a kind of mistake that hopefully you learn as a songwriter by.
Is there one song that you, well, let's say technically, that you couldn't have written on the first album?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's it's hard because lots of the songs start off as one thing and end up as something else. That's what happens when you're in a collaborative band. Some of the stuff, in Heaven and Scent Purple and Green, if you listen to the initial demo of that, which I sent over, it's a lot less musical than what it ended up as, and that's by having 4 heads come together and each put in their own knowledge and skill to make it a little bit more advanced than what perhaps one person could do.
And what are the influences of Justin and Tom? Justin Meldal-Johnson and Tom Elmhurst?
Yeah. Justin's such a musical guy. He's probably one of the most musical people I've ever met anyway. And, he's got perfect pitch and stuff. And I guess he kind of, without intruding on our songwriting skills, he perhaps pointed out where there might be holes missing in the songs. If there's opportunity to perhaps write a more interesting bass line here, or there could be a harmony here, and without writing it for you, just suggesting, which I think sometimes I think is really good. I like to have a fresh pair of ears. I don't want to have songs written for me, but I liked the kind of collaborative listening and having suggestions. I think otherwise what's really the point of having a producer?
And then and Tom?
Yeah, Tom it was really interesting working with Tom, because I'd always kind of been a bit confused. I mean, this is probably just down to lack of experience, but a bit confused as to what a mixer brings to the table. And this was just really a big eye opener for me, because when he sent back a lot of the tunes, when we received them back from him, even if some of them weren't quite how we wanted them to be, it was really interesting how much he could change them and how creative he could be with the mix. And I think he did such a good job. I was really impressed.